Pregame.com.
Welcome back. It's the second half of the baseball season. We're back from the All-Star break. Vegas Runner joins me. I'm Marco D'Angelo. We're going to preview Friday baseball. VR, the Pittsburgh Pirates, first place Pittsburgh Pirates, travel to Milwaukee. First off, I want to say one thing. No suit for me today.
Too hot.
We're in Vegas. I'm a rather large dude.
I'm not too small myself.
Suit, tie. It's been 115 for like 3 days in a row. We ain't doing
And we're only
it, so
2 weeks into July.
Yeah, so we're going casual today, but
I agree.
how about my Pittsburgh Pirates? First half, amazing.
We saw this last year, but last year it started early and tapered off. This year, it's a little bit different. They caught fire as you're heading into the All-Star break. You know what I mean? A little later, early on, nobody was saying anything about this team.
Would you believe that since, I think it's like May 19th, they have the best record in baseball?
Yeah, I believe it.
And right into the All-Star break, 10-2. They won 10 of the last 12
Yeah, I was betting
games.
them. I was betting them going into the break.
They did. Last year was a growing experience, learning experience from them. They're a better team this year than they were last year, and they're hitting the baseball, for a change now the last few games. Suddenly, 7 of their last 10 games, they've scored 5 runs or more.
Yeah, and this is a team that's been forced to have to win a lot of 2-1 ball games earlier, because their pitching's been phenomenal.
If you bet the beginning of the season, if all you did was blindly bet unders in the Pittsburgh Pirate games, you made a ton of money in the month of April.
Yeah, I agree.
Early May. But this is your best bet, so I'm going to let you go ahead and run with it.
It really is. I'm hoping the sports books, because Pittsburgh got so hot going in, and because Milwaukee's a team that's really a disappointment. They're 8 games behind. So this is a team that's not going to make the playoffs. I really doubt they're going to be able to pass everybody that's ahead of them. With that said, they're still a real good team. And when you look at Pythagorean over-under, here's a team that's underperformed based on their runs scored, runs allowed. They should have more wins. Or on the flip side, Pittsburgh's plus 5.5 games. So they've won more than they really should have. But the reason I really like the Brewers in this spot, Marco, and I'll be willing to lay up the 150 comfortably, and I'm not one that really likes to bet a lot of chalk during the regular season because it's so tough to gauge motivation. In the playoffs, I have no problem doing it. You know a team's motivated. During the season, when you play that many games, it's tough to gauge motivation each and every night. But in this spot, I think the break's the worst thing that could happen to Pittsburgh. You've taught me that. When a team's hot, the very last thing you want is a break, whether it's a bye week in football, whether it's the All-Star break in baseball. And more importantly, you look at McDonald. Here's a guy who's now all of a sudden, they had a break. He's a young pitcher. He's already pitched 110 innings. Last year, he pitched 170 total the whole season. And the year before that, only 65 innings. Although he's pitched great, I think now we're going to start to see those arms a little bit weary, and I got to take Greinke in this spot.
Well, everything you said, I got to agree with you, and I'll give you some things to support, taking Milwaukee. Pittsburgh, we all know this is a different Pittsburgh team this year. There's no question about that. Let's start with McDonald. Yeah, he has been phenomenal. He's probably been, him and A.J. Burnett's been the two, anchors to this pitching staff.
And you still get value every time they're out, almost.
McDonald, 9 of his last 10 starts, 3 runs or less. You can't ask any more from a pitcher. And he gives you solid 6-7 innings. He gets you to the bullpen, which the Pirates, if you get from that starter to
the pen,
to the 9th
forget
inning,
it.
When Hanrahan comes in, it's over, man.
Yeah,
this guy's doing. He's just been phenomenal for the last couple of years for the Pirates, and they've had some bad ball clubs, and like you said, they've had to cling to a lot of 3-2 wins, which you don't have any cushion when you bring that bullpen in. But historically, going to Milwaukee's been like for the Pirates like Nightmare on Elm Street. This is the one venue that they have just crapped the bed. I mean, there's no other way to say it. They have been horrible playing Milwaukee, especially in Milwaukee. So history's on your side, but it's a different team. Let's talk about Zach Greinke. What a weekend he had going into the All-Star break. He started both games on the weekend. This happened one other time this year, and it was because of a long rain delay in the first inning. They started the game, guy threw, an inning, and then it was C.J. Wilson, and then They didn't bring him back after the long rain delay, and he pitched the next day. Greinke, different reason. He got ejected in the first inning of the game on Saturday and comes back and starts the game on Sunday, only goes 3 1/3 or 3 2/3. They got to him a little bit. You got to wonder, though, where his mindset is. You talked about Milwaukee being 8 games under 500, and here's a team that ran away with the division last year. They were unbeatable at home. They're showing that they're sending up the white flag that the season's over. Trade rumors abound with Zach Greinke. So now how does this affect the team, and how does it affect Greinke? Well, for Greinke, you got to think, I'm showcasing myself to get out of a bad situation.
Against the first place team in our division, let's not forget.
Let's not, yeah. And there's even, which, this, of all the trade rumors I've heard around, this one makes the least sense to me. But there's actually been some rumors of Pittsburgh being interested in him. And Greinke's been a guy his whole career that likes the small market venues because he pitched to Kansas City. He went to Milwaukee. But the Pirates don't need any help
in that department.
In the pitching
they need
department.
Some bats.
They need another bat to go after. But Greinke, what do you think his mindset really, is?
Honestly, I think he's on normal rest. I think he's going to be motivated for this game. And why I really like Greinke here is because he's such a good finesse pitcher. And when you look at the Pirates lineup, you have McCutchen. And he's first on the team in home runs, first in batting average, and first in that OPS, slugging percentage, on base percentage combined. But a good pitcher like Greinke could pitch around him. Mm-hmm. And that gives teams such an advantage. When you have a finesse guy who could pitch around that one stud, it makes it so much tougher on the rest of the team. And that's why I like Milwaukee in this spot, because they have that perfect starter who won't allow McCutchen to do the damage.
Well, Greinke has been Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde as far as home and away. And this has been something his whole career, even when he was at Kansas City. His ERA at home is 1.89. His ERA on the road is 4.41. Huge difference for a pitcher that is as dominating as Greinke is. As much as it pains me, I got to agree with you, with Milwaukee here. This is a bad spot for Pittsburgh. But I'm going to say this. If Pittsburgh can go in and, rid themselves of the demons of Milwaukee playing there, and they come out and take 2 out of 3 out of this series, this team, there's still value at them. And I know everybody accuses me of being a homer, with the Pirates. But look at this team up and down. They are sound fundamentally.
No, and we know that pitching wins come October, come September. You need pitching to win playoff games.
And if they get that one more bat where it can protect McCutchen in the lineup,
forget it. I like this team. They're solid.
Go ahead. This is Vegas Runner's video best bet of the week. He says to take Milwaukee. We're projecting the line Milwaukee around 140, but VR says you can lay the wood up to 150 on this one. He's going to take Milwaukee and Greinke. That's his video best bet. We're going to be right back. We've got more games here at pregame.tv. Next up, Saturday action. St. Louis travels to Cincinnati. Key Central Division matchup.
We're staying in that NL.